That's the miracle. That signals to the world you are in Christ. Luke 5:6 and John 21:6b. Oh, I like how that kind of worked. B? I made that up. At the end of 21:6. When they had done so, they caught such a large number of fish that their nets began to break. When they did this, they were unable to haul the net because of the large number of fish. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, we need to stand firm. All right, put your seatbelt on. Everybody, seatbelts. Remember we did this before? Seatbelts. We're gonna try and run through it. So Pastor Jim's not up here saying, "All right, Josh." Okay. All right. We need to stand firm in unity. In the first story, their nets began to break. In the second story, their nets did not break. And the word there for the break in the Greek is schizo. Schizo turns into schism. It sounds familiar because Webster's dictionary says it's the division or separation in a church or denomination of Christians. It goes on to say a breach of unity among people of the same religious faith. Did you know, right? So we're like, hey, what are Christians known for? We have our own word in Webster's dictionary for our division. It's funny and not funny at the same time. Isn't that crazy? We all get on our doctrinal silos or our preference silos or wherever, and we just cause so much division. That's one of the first arguments the Catholics point at people who are Protestant, which they split from the Orthodox, and there's several sects of Catholicism, so I'm not going to even start there. But what I'm saying is there's so many of you, you're all divided. They have a great point. That's a great point. I'm not even arguing. That's absolutely right. It's okay to have kind of like a label of, hey, this is what we prefer. This is what we understand. That's okay. That's all. I think that's healthy. I think that you should definitely go to a place that you feel believes and preaches correctly. And there are certain things. I personally believe those are very few things. Very few foundational things are truly level of salvation. In fact, kind of just salvation. And so I'm going to definitely preach it this way, and I typically always do. But it's okay that you think where you're at is accurate. What's not okay is tearing down others, dividing with others. And if it's not a specific gospel-related event, we still need to have bridges, not walls, bridges. And who wins when we're fighting? The devil. Do you know, with church history, how many times Catholics, Protestants, Orthodox, you name it, fight, kill each other, steal parts of, if we'd spent some of that, how many times on YouTube is just arguments and debates, and it's healthy to do that. So there's level that's good, right? We're talking about wherever that line is crossed. When that line is crossed, all that time and energy, the devil is winning. Yeah. Have debates, figure it out, search the word. Yes, yes, yes. So please don't tell me just accept things blindly, because you never should do that. But it comes a time, and you have to be sensitive to the Spirit and listening. Okay, where's that line? We need to stop. We need to be unified. John 17:21. I pray that they will all be one, just as you and I are one. They be in us. I'm sorry, I'm skipping. They be in us, so that the world would believe you sent me. It's part of them understanding who Jesus is, and that you're a part of His family. This is not negotiable. We are not doing well as a church history. You want to go on traditions and histories? We have a word for our division because it's so prevalent. That's why a place like this, it's so refreshing. Our body, our family is so refreshing because I feel like we really accept that. Going to the hub and these other things. Not that you have to do those things, but there is a sense of unity. I had a pastor tell me, we were talking, he says, I believe in the big C church. And little c is important, but the big C church, that's what matters. And he said, there's an umbrella. And people, there's only a few places that you need to land. Most people, you don't have to land. There's a couple things you need to land. Salvation, Jesus, it's grace, not works. There's a handful of things. But everything else, you can land. Eschatology, you're here, you're there. Some of the gifts, you're here nor there. Like gifts, because that's a lot of us when we're charismatic Pentecostal, we think it's like such a lot of that stuff. It's not, I guess this is my preference, so sort it. I truly believe that as long as the foundation, that's what's important. Have dialogues, have conversations. Amen. But the miracle that truly displayed, the miracle, the one that brings people to life, that sees that you're in Jesus and Jesus is in you, the miracle is the love and the unity that you have for others in the body. We need to love those out of the body as well, right? But this is a conversation of mostly tenured folks, so that's why I'm focusing it there. That's the miracle. That signals to the world you are in Christ. And Christ is in you. And what you're saying is true. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. We think, oh, no. Someone getting out of a wheelchair. Oh, no. Me repeating this particular prayer. Oh, no. Me even giving, and those all matter. Those all matter. It's our unity and love. We need to stand firm together. So they signal to their partner in another boat. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, another boat.
Another boat.
To come help them. John 21:3. And he says, and we went all out into a boat. Look at your neighbor and say, a boat.
A boat.
In the first story, they were divided into separate ships. Second story, they're in the same ship. Oh. I don't know. Am I going to go on a tangent? Should I go on a tangent?
Yes.
No? Okay. Lord, please. This is its own sermon. Okay, Matthew 25, because it's not in my notes. Matthew 25 talks about if you are going to give your gift onto the altar and you realize that your brother has something against you, you leave your gift at the altar and make it right. It doesn't say if you're at Starbucks and you remember. It doesn't say write it as a note in your phone and get too around to it. He says leave it. Emergency protocol in a plane. If the little baggies drop down, emergency protocol. You leave what you're doing and you put it on. Mm-hmm. This is so important because we think about that and say, oh, like they were just at like a Shabbat service. No, the scenario for this is they. For a Jew back in that time, a lot of times, there's one time in the year that you give your gift on the altar. And you didn't live in Jerusalem. So what you did is you got your camel and all your stuff, and you pack up and you go travel, sometimes days, weeks, to get to Jerusalem for your specific time. That one time, most holy time of the year, the most important time of the year, arguably, for you and God. And you bring your gift to the altar, and you're standing in line, and you go at this, and you wait as long as it takes, and you get there, and you're in front. He says, of all these things, you go through all that trouble, and you realize at that point, you have an issue, your brother has an issue, there's this issue. You leave it. You make it right. This is emergency protocol. It is not something little. We talk about, what's the most spiritual thing? What are these spiritual things? And they're all spiritual things. I talk about miracles and signs and wonders and portals and all that. That's all great. But it sounds to me way, way up there on the priorities, even above sacrifice. It's making it right. It's unity. All right, soapbox. Sorry.
Amen.
Amen.